It's time for Wisconsin Life. In 1926, Lake Ivanhoe was founded as a Black owned resort community in southern Wisconsin. It became a safe haven for Black families from across the Midwest. This weekend, Lake Ivanhoe will celebrate its centennial. WPR's Diane Buzuka visited the community in 2022 when a new historical marker was placed to commemorate its role in Wisconsin history. She brings us this story.
6 miles east of Lake Geneva is a small subdivision nestled beside a quiet lake, Lake Ivanhoe.
Peter Baker first visited in the 1960s.
He was 9 years old, and his friend brought him up from Chicago on a fishing trip.
I bet we caught over 70, 100 fish, bluegills and crappies, and it was the most exciting and life-changing thing for me. So we went home, and I ran in the house with all these fish, and I showed my mother we were up there in Lake Ivanhoe, and it was all black. And the first thing she said is to my father, Ernest, we're going up there next week.
The Bakers bought a house on Tuskegee Drive and moved the family up from Chicago. During the era of sundown towns where African Americans were not welcome after dark, he says Lake Ivanhoe was a refuge.
This was about as safe as life could get up here. Because we literally could sit in the middle of the roads at nighttime and watch the stars and talk and play. The freedom was unbelievable.
Baker later learned that was the whole idea when the community was dreamed up a century ago as the first Black-founded development in Wisconsin. In the wake of nationwide race riots, African American leaders from Chicago bought the land in the 1920s to build a Black resort town.
It was an immediate hit, drawing families from across the region and performances at a central pavilion by acts like Cab Calloway. But the stock market crash in 1929 brought it all to an end. Following World War II, families like the Bakers rediscovered Lake Ivanhoe and slowly made it a year-round community. Baker eventually built his own home and raised his family here. Now he's president of the Lake Ivanhoe Homeowners Association.
This is our clubhouse right here. It was a much smaller place.
But he says things have changed. Now the community is mostly white and Hispanic. African Americans are only about 10% of the population.
The lake needs dredging, the road needs repair, and the history of Lake Ivanhoe is fading.
That's why Baker has been working on getting a historical marker. In recent years, he's been getting help from Katie Green.
Have you ever seen this?
These guys fishing on Lake Ivanhoe?
Yes, ice fishing. Look at this here.
Green has spent summers in Lake Geneva since the 70s, but she had never heard of Lake Ivanhoe until a few years ago when a friend's grandmother mentioned it.
I had asked all my friends that I grew up with in Lake Geneva. I asked all my current neighbors, have you heard of Ivanhoe? Nope, nobody that I knew. So I started to dig into it.
That's how she met Baker. Now she and Baker often spend their Saturdays combing through old documents and newspapers.
Carol and Billy Cross? Do you?
They're trying to connect with past residents. One of the people they found was Janet Alexander Davis, who came to Lake Ivanhoe in the 50s on family fishing trips.
One time I caught what they call a dogfish. That was the ugliest fish I've ever seen. Ugly and big, but I was so proud of that fish.
She hasn't been back since childhood, but she's excited about the marker.
It's proof that we were treated differently in this society and continue to be, that we had to find our own way and have our own things because we couldn't just go where we wanted to go, to shop, to live, or to buy. What I felt there was free.
Baker's planning a dedication ceremony for the new marker.
He wants to invite past residents, have a pig roast and big band music, like the old days.
I plan on being here for a long time, hopefully for the rest of my life. And I just hope it's always a place that African Americans can feel safe in. I literally am at peace here.
And he believes recognizing the community is the best way to ensure future generations find refuge there too.
Diane Bazuka brought us that story on Lake Ivanhoe, which is celebrating its 100-year history this weekend. Wisconsin Life is a co-production of Wisconsin Public Radio and PBS Wisconsin in partnership with Wisconsin Humanities. Additional support comes from Lowell and Mary Peterson of Appleton.